Hello. I wanted to share a couple verses from The Wheel of Sharp Weapons. They're actually the first two verses. I don't know why, I just love these verses. I may never even understand what they mean or the practices that you do, but they always make my mind stronger. And I'm also teaching these at a prison, and I find it inspiring to think about working on these verses with the people there. If you ever have been in a situation where you have to face suffering and difficulties continuously to the point that your lifespan is going to be shortened, which is what their situation is, then having something that would make your mind stronger is quite welcome. So this says, when peacocks roam through the jungle of virulent poison, through the gardens of medicinal plants, though the gardens of medicinal plants are attractive, the flocks of peacocks will not take delight in them, for peacocks thrive on the essence of virulent poison. Likewise, when hero bodhisattvas enter the jungle of cyclic existence, though the gardens of happiness and prosperity may seem beautiful, the heroes will not become attached to them, for heroes thrive in the jungle of suffering. And so the idea of thriving in the jungle of suffering is quite attractive to me, I have to say. Because if you think about all of the different responses that you have to suffering, I mean, you could just talk to anyone in this room and pick your first three. All are miserable states of mind, generally, that we come up with. It could be overwhelm, it could be anger. You might just climb under a rock and never come out. I don't know. What do you do? Anyone want despondency? Any other offerings? Your top three picks?
First thing is to, my mind won't accept it.
Not accepting it, not accepting the suffering. So, yeah, my mind often goes to anger, I would say. And then lots of times from there it can go to overwhelm. And so this verse gives us just this delightful way of thinking of that you could actually use suffering. And that's a very advanced practice, so I'm not so concerned with that part, although I like the ideal, I like the aspiration. But I'm more focused on when my mind goes to anger of, actually I have to go to suffering, but I do find my mind going to the kind of the three ways that Lama Tsongkhapa talked about it, which was first to disregard the harm. It's kind of like you're doing the observation in NVC, kind of hard to do. It's like, what is that observation? It's also very hard to disregard the harm a lot of times. And I find that to be helpful. And I have to go to they say accept the suffering in your mind. And that's very helpful. And then figure out what Dharma antidotes are you going to apply. So that often comes to mind for me. But to think about hero bodhisattvas who, will come back willingly and just enter, having the ability to enter any kind of situation. Now, we wouldn't want to do that now because we'd just kind of get probably run over or something, We wouldn't necessarily have the skills, but to think that we can develop these skills and to work towards that is really, for me, the power of aspiration essentially is what this allows me to tap into. So I just wanted to share this beautiful verse so that we can become these hero bodhisattvas. Yeah, not become attached to anything. That would probably be the key, right? Anyway, have a nice day in this samsaric environment.